Yeah, stress is really fun because you got to figure there's good stress and bad stress. Right now, I'm under extreme stress. My skin is under 65 pounds per square inch of pressure. That means every inch of my skin is under that much. Oh, so is yours. What that means is we're under an ocean of air. See, without this type of stress, our bones would weaken and die. This is why astronauts have such a bear of a time, because if they're in space for a very short period of time, like say 6 months or so, if they did a jumping jack when they come back to Earth, their legs would fracture. So some stress is absolutely vital. I'm going to talk about the pathologic stress, okay? Does that make sense? Because there's a lot of, oh, stress kills. No, it doesn't really kill, but I'm going to show you the mechanism of how torture does. You can boil down all stressors into three things. Okay, physical, chemical, or emotional stress. This means everything. The tough part is your body doesn't know the difference. Your body's going to respond the same way, whether it's chemical stress, whether you eat at McDonald's or get a vaccination, whether it's physical stress, same response if you get in a rear end or a fender bender, same response if you're upset with your work or whatever, your body responds the same. So what's tough? Oh, God! I'm sorry, am I the only one scared of tigers? Okay, so what just happened? Did I stimulate an emotional response? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, good. So your body responds like you're being chased by tigers. So what just happened to the heart rate? This is a clue. It increased. Okay, good. Okay, now, since you don't want to be lunch, okay, you want to run away from the tiger, what do you think happened to blood pressure? It went up. So heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up. Do you want a lot of energy? Yeah, you don't want to become lunch. So your liver instantly, under that emotional stimulus, starts to break down glycogen to glucose, so blood sugar goes up. Now, raise your hand if you've heard of good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. Good, the programming is working fine. Okay, the tough part is there is no good cholesterol or bad cholesterol. That's absolutely ignorant. There's 5 different types of HDL. There's 3 different types of LDL. There is no such thing as good or bad. LDL, low density lipoprotein, isn't even cholesterol. It's actually a protein carrier that carries this fat molecule, this incredibly complex fat molecule through the system. Okay, and it's not only is it so valuable, it's most of the content of your brain. It's around every cell wall. So cholesterol is really hard and it's expensive. So if it's not utilized, then HDL, a high-density lipoprotein, goes in, grabs the extra cholesterol, and brings it back. So LDL is for the precursor to stress hormones, and it's used for tissue repair. It's not bad. Any physician that says that, do you know what you do? You fire them. You fire them. Okay? I don't care if they're nice. They're ignorant. Okay, so then you look at this. Now, do you want blood supply going to digestion so you can digest that turkey dinner? Or do you want blood supply going to arms and legs to run away? You're being chased by a tiger. Do you want to run away or to digest food?
I want to run away.
You want to run away. Good. I'm totally cool with that. You don't want to run away. So what happens is, under emotional stimulus, blood supply to the gut shuts down. This means your body goes into what's called a fight or flight state. Also, your immune system is weakened. Okay, if you're under stress. Why? When you get a cold, do you have a lot of energy or very little? Yeah, you're wiped out. I had a cold once a few years ago. I remember it. It was a low energy time of my life. So now what's tough is, and body regeneration. That means your body can't rebuild itself. Now think of this, okay, long term. Okay, heart rate up, high blood pressure. So when we look at this long term, you've got 2 parts of the nervous system, and this keeps you alive. It has to be in balance. When one's up, the other's down. So one part's the fight or flight. We call that sympathetics. Okay, that elevates heart rate, elevates blood pressure, elevates blood glucose, elevates LDL cholesterol, weakens the immune system, shuts blood supply down to the gut. Now the other one, so the tough part, this thing is ideal for keeping you alive short periods. Okay, you wouldn't be able to drive here in traffic without the sympathetics. You can't change lanes. Oh, that's the wrong finger. I'm sorry, how do you drive? Okay, no, you gotta have that fight or flight. Otherwise, if you're just driving along all sleepy and tired, you're gonna get run into. You won't be able to function in society. So it's not good and bad or bad and good. Okay, you need both. Now the rest and digest you got to understand your system's dynamic. It needs to be repaired and rebuilt. My blood's rebuilt this means 6 million red blood cells is rebuilt every 120 days. My skin's only 28 days old. So there's a constant regeneration. There's a billion cells a day in your body that are built. There's also a billion cells in your body destroyed. And that process of regeneration is called oxidation. And your health is fantastically important because it's hinging on that oxidation. If you can't handle that cell production, you develop cancer. If you can't handle the LDL or the high glucose, from the fight or flight, what are you diagnosed with? Diabetes. All right, good. Now, diabetes, that's poisonous blood. It means there's excess energy in the blood, you can't burn it up. So if you have poisonous blood and you're in a chronic fight or flight system, what are you diagnosed with? You're diagnosed with high blood pressure. You're diagnosed with glucose. High blood glucose. You're diagnosed with... See, none of these are problems. They're all the body adapting. Okay, so the balance of these two systems is essential to understand. Does that make sense? If I can teach you how to balance the two systems, the fight or flight and the rest and digest, under any stress load, would that be of value? Yes. Yeah? Okay, good. Yeah, because it's going to reverse cancer, keep your body healthy. So now, I know that's normal with her. She works at the desk next to you. Okay, but do me a favor. Is high blood pressure and high cholesterol a problem? Don't answer. Okay. Sit up nice and straight. Round your shoulders over, just like this. Just like that poor gal there. Now, take a deep breath. Okay, now reposition just the shoulders. Take a deep breath. Isn't that weird? In this body posture, it's harder to breathe. Okay, now if it's harder to breathe, do you think since the brain burns 25% of the body's oxygen, do you think maybe your heart has to work harder to get oxygen to the brain? Yes or yes? So in this culture, is she going to have higher blood pressure to keep her brain alive than this person? Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so what we got to look at is each person is individual. Blood pressure is going to vary. Respiration is going to vary. You can't have one number that fits all. It doesn't work that way. I mean, here's a guy right now, 56 years old. You can see his spine's bent way off to the side, and there's an x-ray. Now, he's under comfortable or pain? What do you think? Pain. Absolutely. I mean, just try it. Sit up nice and straight and slide your body off to the side. Just hold it here. Just hold it here with this deviation. Now is the body smart or stupid? Smart. Okay. Raise your hand if you said smart. Everybody raise your hand because you were just too shy to say anything. Okay, yeah, it is smart. Okay, it's brilliant. So the body gives symptoms, get this, I'm glad you're sitting down, for a reason. Okay, for a reason. Okay, now there was a story. Now have you ever heard of the Tennessee Valley Authority? Well, what they did is they flooded massive areas around the Mississippi and around a lot of different big rivers and to dam it up to create hydroelectric plants. Well, this one guy just refused to move. And so the water came up almost in his yard, covered it, and the fire truck came in and they said, we're here to rescue. He says, no. I'm praying to God, I'm going to be saved. So the water gets up above the porch, okay? And he's clinging to the top of the porch, and a boat comes by. And he says, no, don't worry about it. I'm praying to God, I'm going to be okay. And so all of a sudden, the water comes up to the chimney, and he's hanging onto the chimney, and the flood waters are everywhere. This guy has so much faith, okay? A helicopter comes by, says, buddy, come on up here, we can save you. And he says, no, I'm praying to God. Okay, he drowns. He goes up to heaven, and he says, what the heck is going on? I prayed to you all this time, and you didn't save me. Look, Jerry, I sent the car, I sent the boat, and I sent the helicopter. Okay. Think of this. If your body's intelligent, I sent the high blood pressure as a clue to a problem. Okay, this isn't a problem. It's foolish to treat high blood pressure with a drug. I sent the high blood glucose, okay, blood sugar. These are all sympathetic dominant patterns. This guy is taking high blood pressure. If you slow the blood pressure down, does that slow oxygen down to the brain? Yes. Further chemical stress, okay? Absolutely elevating cortisol levels. See, your body requires blood pressure here or here. In Europe, they don't even treat it unless it's over 180 systolic. In India, if it's below 140 systolic, they think it's pathology. In this country, it's got to be 120 over 80, a very narrow range. So if your body is too high, you require higher blood pressure like this guy, you chemically force it down lower. That's chemical stress. The body needs to secrete cortisol. Now, cortisol is a brilliant substance, but it puts energy in the blood. Now, cortisol downregulates insulin receptors. In English, that means that blood glucose goes up. So does that mean that high blood pressure drugs are linked to diabetes? Or yes, it does. It's a foolish approach. Now, this guy's coming in taking multiple medications, and it's just ignorant. Within a month, he's drug-free. Within 90 days, there he is. Listen to the body. What I do is I not only listen to the body, I approach it with respect and awe. We find the problem and correct it. Does that make sense to anybody but me? Does it make sense to everyone? Okay, good, good. Just checking. Now, this is tough. This is out of all of these journals. They say that the drugs that you would take to lower blood pressure, ACE inhibitors, diuretics, beta blockers, they say if you take these blood pressure drugs, early death from heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Isn't that interesting? So now we're going to start looking at higher blood pressure had lower death rates. Isn't that interesting? Now, this is out of the Journal of the American Medical Association. They found out that if you have heart damage, and that means that it's hard to get oxygen to the heart, that higher blood pressure kept you alive longer. Is the doctor aware of this? No, because he works in large groups and he's limited. He can't give common sense advice. So we're going to change that. Ray, 12 years. 12 years he was taking a chemical that forced his blood pressure down lower. Now remember the fight or flight? The fight or flight, the sympathetic, the stress one, and the rest and digest. If you're taking a chronic drug to force your chemically force your body down lower, what's his immune system like? It's weakened. Okay. What's his entire life like? His cell production's like, you know, within 90 days, he's off of the blood pressure drugs. He's got his normal system restored. Now look at this, just for the heck of it. These are the top selling drugs in America. Now what happens under stress? Ah! Okay, good, just checking. What happens under stress? So what just happened? Did your cholesterol go up? Yes or yes? Did blood sugar go up? Yes. Okay. Now those things right there, cholesterol, stress, heartburn, blood supply to the gut shuts down, stress, arthritis. If you can't get oxygen to the joints, they start to wear out. What's even worse is what happens if you take an arthritis drug. Okay, last week we talked about arthritis here, and you actually saw joints rot out from taking Advil, Tylenol, and Motrin. They actually weaken the body's ability to repair. And then, if you're in chronic stress, what develops? Depression. Can you see that each one of these things, it's like that boat coming in. Your body's giving you these clues of the sympathetic dominance. The water's rising. It's giving all of these clues. Now what's tough is, you might have heard, if you go and you use disease management as actual health care. I'm sorry, do you realize that medical care is not health care? It's actually disease management. What those disease management doctors are going to tell you is that there's 4 risk factors to heart disease. 4 risk factors. Do you know what those risk factors are? Okay. Diabetes. Oh, I misspelled that. Sorry. Smoking, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure. Okay, now think of this. Okay, now I'm telling you right now that 3 of the 4 risk factors that the disease management medical doctors are telling you, I'm saying they're good for you. They're actually showing that your body's adapting to stress. If you have chronic stress, you're going to develop disease. I'm not saying live with high blood pressure and high cholesterol and diabetes, high blood sugar. I'm saying that they're clues that your body's under stress. And they're saying they're 4 risk factors. So are these risk factors to disease?